All right, so Montana State at New Mexico, FCS versus FBS matchup. Montana State is coming off an 8-4 record. They're going to be number 4 in their polls down there on the FCS level. Top tier quarterback is returning. Tommy Mellott, man, they had this weird 2 quarterback system between him and Sean Chambers. Sean Chambers graduated, so now he's going to be the full-time guy out there at Montana State. But what's interesting about Montana State, they run the ball like crazy, man. Mellott in his career has had 2,474 rushing yards.
Yeah.
And then they return all 4 of their running backs that were responsible for yardage last year. So they're going to be absolutely insane. Number 2 in rushing with 291 yards per game. Montana, to me, is capable of running the ball down New Mexico's throats, as they were one of the worst defensive teams last year. Now, on the New Mexico side, they have not had a winning season since 2016. Just wanted to throw that out there. Bronco Mendenhelm is their new head coach. The cool thing about Bronco Mendenhelm is, if you remember his days at BYU, which was his first head coaching gig, he was there for a long time. He's 7-7 in bowl games, but he was there from 2005 to 2015. And every single year that he was a coach there and had a couple 10-win, I think he had an 11-win season there, they were in bowl games every single year. Then he went to Virginia, and we know what happened there. 18 years experience under his belt. There's not a ton of returning talent for them. Caleb Medford is the brightest player on that team at receiver. He was an honorable mention for, all Mountain West. So you have that going for him right there. But the biggest transfer portal pickup that they had was Dejon Benton from USC. He showed flashes at UFC last year. Wouldn't say that he was all that great because we know how bad the USC's defense was last year. So I'm not sure in the transfer portal if you want to go and grab any of those players because they looked so bad last year. But I think Montana State wins this game in a close game. You still have to respect an FBS school FBS school, but I think it's 31-27. But I think the running game of Montana State reigns supreme in this game. I don't think they slow down. I think they get over 300 yards on the ground. That's my bold prediction. Don has Montana State as well. Hayden has Montana State as well. And then Khalid. What is your outlook of this game, sir?
Man, you took a lot of the words out of my mouth, and so Sora, I'm sorry if I do the same for you. But I mean, Montana State's offense, you kind of hit the nail on the head with how much they like to run the ball. They average the second most rushing yards per game in the FCS with 291 yards, and the second most points per game in all of FCS with 39.9 points. So they're very productive on the offensive side of the ball. And, this is a side that is clearly dominant at what they do, but they also return a lot of the players who just dominated, right? They returned 7 all-conference selections from this last roster, which is an incredible number. So their starting quarterback, you mentioned Tommy Mellott, he's returning, like you said, over 3,000 passing yards and over 2,000 rushing yards to his name. They also bring back 5 offensive linemen with a lot of starting experience. Their top wideout, and as you mentioned, Dante, their top 4 running backs in what is obviously a very run-heavy scheme. Meanwhile, on the other side, New Mexico, they lose over half of their production on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. And their star running back, 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗀 transferred, and he is now at Arizona. So that is just a major individual loss there. Losing your star running back. And, Bronco Mendenhall, though, I got to respect him, right? You mentioned how consistent he was at BYU, right? I kind of just look at this stat, and it's like, man, in this way, he's the Mike Tomlin of college football. In 17 years so far of being a head coach at the FBS level, he has only had 1 losing season, and that was in his first year at Virginia. He went 2-10. In all of his years,
boys hard. Ain't no more losing here.
Every single season at BYU, when they were in the Mountain West and as independents, and then every single season after the first at Virginia, finished at 500 or better. So very consistent. New Mexico went, I believe, 2-10 this past year as well. They improve on that, in my opinion, but
I think they get better at the second half of their season for sure.
I agree. I think that New Mexico will finish off the season closer to 500, if not at or barely above it. But I have a feeling it'll be like in the 3-4-5 win range.
I think their over-under is 3.5 right now. So
I think that's probably a perfect number then. But sorry, they were 4-8 last year. I think they'll probably finish right around that clip. I was thinking of Nevada, who we'll get to soon. But yeah, New Mexico finished 4-8 last year. I think they finished right around there again. Give Mendenhall time, but this game is not one of those wins for New Mexico. Montana State, in my opinion, is going to get a win here. And I think it's going to be pretty convincing. It's not going to be a clobbering, but I do think that they can win by a couple scores.
Well, Please got Montana State as well. So what say you, Sora? You taking New Mexico? Montana State?
So I'm not going to lie. When I first read this, I thought they meant the New Mexico State Aggies. I had read that wrong. Despite all of that, a lot has already been said about Mon.
We could change it.
Okay,
if you got to change
please,
it, you can change it.
Yes, please, Montana State.
Okay.
I was like, I realized that too late later today, and I was like, the graphics have already been submitted. All right, I just gotta hype myself up on New Mexico here.
No, don't hype yourself up on New Mexico.
You can flame me in the comments for this one.
No, you good, bro.
I'm sorry, Lobos fans. Listen, I can admit I was wrong on this.
Well, the only person taking an L here is Tony because he has the Lobos winning.
Okay, cool.
I don't see how the Lobos make it out.
It's gonna have to take the experience of the coach.
Yeah. So when you roll it up, the ECG winner is going to be obviously Montana State. We're rolling with the FCS dogs this week.
And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell notification so you're always notified.
All right. Well, the 12 Oh my god.
That's what I'm saying. At this point, like, bro, you just gotta just be you, bro.
Just be you, bro.